Welcome, we're in the studio with Skinny Hendrix. You're watching Hog Blog. I'm going to show you an unreleased track of mine that it's a collaboration track with the Juicebox as our side project, Snobsky Chops. It's unreleased as of now, so you're getting a sneak peek at it. Alright, it's kind of a bass-heavy track. It has little hip-hop samples in it, kind of little hip-hop, glitch-hoppy, deep house combination. We call it deep hop. We kind of came up with this track. We started whenever we found this really cool delay plugin that comes in Logic, and it has it uses the kick drum here. We found it. We used it on our kick drum. That's our kick drum without the delay plugin, and then here it is with the delay plugin. We started developing around that. Then we added some synths. We added a little synthy high pitched squeaky. And actually we sampled a can being opened for this. A Red Bull can, actually. Of course. Gotta have Red Bull in the studio. Then there's a sample we used with the pop can being opened. You know, it's kind of like because whenever the original sample was, we opened the can and then went and you know we used them, but we ended up using them both. It sounds it's like a Fanta commercial or something maybe. Sampled a little plucky thing. We made that synth in Logic on the ES2. We sampled a little soul sample right there with a little added tremolo. Kind of combined them together. Found our arrangement. Then we made Juicebox came up with a really awesome rap for this song. It's something he had in his arsenal for a good period of time, but had never found a beat for it. And all of a sudden, here we go.
I was at the commission for a few days, reminiscing, couldn't listen. The system had been betrayed, and I saved this with all of my feelings out on the pavement. Enslavement, the one with the gun was supposed to save me, my baby. Can't shake it, so I stay awake and see to say I'm patiently waiting. Though my fate was mistaken, and I couldn't take it, so I cried out. No sleep, so I lied down. I'll just ride till my life out.
We have the verse here. Let's see, where's his?
I was at the commission for a few days, reminiscing, couldn't listen. The system had.
On his verse, on his voice, it really doesn't have too much processing in it. Just maybe a little bit of EQing, compression, a high pass filter, a little bit, and some spreading probably with the panning. We had another vocalist come into the studio with us to finish the second verse. Another local guy named Danny Gusman. And he did a good job creating his own rap. He's a local MC, freestyler. Came up with that on the fly, you know, and it really worked well with this track. And then then we did some synth work on this track. You know, we have like a little, we have like kind of a, not sure how to describe it. It's just a. It has kind of a tremolo effect. It has like some spreading on it. Just some harmonics that aren't really in key. They're kind of a little off key. That makes it more piercing. You know, kind of signals to you that a drop is coming or something, some sort of section, like some sort of dance section's coming afterwards. And we did a lot of synth work in this one.
Ride to my night out, ride to my night down. I'll just ride to my night out.
I'm huge on EQing. That's my main technique. You know, you'll hear from every veteran producer that like the better you get at EQing, the better your tracks are going to be, and I think that holds true. You know, the more I've worked on my EQs, the better my tracks have come out, and it's consistent. It's consistently how it is. You know, EQing, remove your lows. You know, remove the frequencies that are piercing. I love the sausage fattener that Dada Life released. You know, that's a great plugin. I put it on almost every track or every group track that I have. You know, it just gives it a lot of beef. Just, you know, I work with the spreader a lot. Just kind of adds volume to your track. Not volume, but like hair volume. How it makes hair thicker, makes your track thicker. And you know, I like to use I use a lot of tremolo as well, but not I kind of use it at a low depth, so it just kind of gives it a little shake, gives it a little wiggle, and it's not really that noticeable, not too obvious. I think it's the way I chop up things. I feel like I'm really good with using audio files. That's my strength, way more than MIDI. I'm big into bouncing everything into audio and then just chopping it up, just taking it and chopping it and doubling it and repeating it and using it in different, taking off the attack of a little sample and then adding another attack to it from a different sample. And you know, in that way, then your tracks become just something totally different than what they started with. I would add a loop or two that comes from a kit maybe to the beginning of my track. You know, when I'm first starting it, just to kind of add structure to it. But as the track moves along, I usually either totally vary that loop by sampling it. I sample that loop, just a little piece of it, and then I make my own loop from it. Either that, or I just take it out and I make something new that would sound better, and that's more original. That's something original, because you know, it's if it's in a loop kit, then I feel like it's probably already in 100 tracks in the world. What I would do for mastering typically is I take everything off the master bus, and I lower it to -6. I lower it so that it peaks at -6. I might keep a compressor on the master bus, and then I bounce it. I bounce it as a wave file. I reload it back into Logic, and I either use sausage fattener to master it. Combination of sausage fattening, compression, and limiting. Either that, or I send it to my friend Adam from Warp 9, and he masters it for me because he does a great job. He's a certified bass scientist. He does amazing work over there. It's kind of a combination. Either I'll put my drum progression on loop, and then I'll just start playing, and I'll just play for a couple of loops, see how it goes, and then I'll re-listen to it, and either take something from that, and then edit that, or just use what I played, and if I like it, and And then I'll bounce, once that happens, I'll bounce it to an audio. I'll rebounce it to audio and start chopping that and processing it in an audio file. MIDI takes up too much processing space, and just audio is much easier to work with, especially in Logic, which is my DAW of choice. This is Skinny Hendrix. We just went through my track called The Hideout. It's not released yet, so you can't find it anywhere online, but you can hear my other music at soundcloud.com/skinnyhendrix. Find my other music at soundcloud.com/skinny-hendrix. And you keep an eye out for this one, because it'll be up there probably within the next few months. And thanks for watching.
I was at the commission for a few days, reminiscing, couldn't listen, the system had been betrayed. And I say this with all of my feelings out on the pavement. Enslavement, the one with the gun was supposed to save me, my baby. Can't shake it, so I stay awake and seem to say I'm patient.